Welcome to Thriving Tribesmen. My name is Kuri, your host, and I'm excited to be making this episode. I was meant to be continuing on with the series part 2 and part 3 of saying no to forced celibacy, and I'm going to do that next week, Monday and Tuesday. Today, I'm going to address a call that I had yesterday where a gentleman, his wife asked him for a divorce, and he started walking me through what had happened. Now, this is a guy I spoke to way before Reignited Man, and I was sort of trying to figure out how am I going to sell this thing here, because it comes a time when I can give so much free information, and you guys can collect as much free information as you want. But unless you actually put down some skin in the game, you're actually not going to do anything. Like, it's one of those things where you can consume all the fitness content and know everything about fitness, but unless you actually go to the gym and do something about it, you're not going to get the results that you actually want. So you're going to have to do something about it. And when I started talking about this with him, I didn't know what I know now in terms of how people are forced to stay in a negative situation because of the fear of operating outside of a comfort zone. Because if you come into our program or you join our community, what would tend to happen is that we're going to be challenging you to operate outside of your comfort zone. So if you're afraid of that, and sometimes it's subconscious, so your mind tells you want to change, your mind tells you that you want to do good things into a relationship, but unless you believe it for yourself and you start actually wanting to operate out of that comfort zone, then you're never going to achieve what you want to achieve. And this is a principle on every single thing. I think this is an Olympic year, and you imagine for the past 4 years, all the people that are going to be competing in those Olympics and the ones that are going to win the medals, these are people that were prepared to put themselves in uncomfortable situations continuously over a period of 4 years so they can get this outcome. So in order to get the outcome, I mean, I can run just like anybody else can run, but if you put me on a 100-meter dash, I'm not going to do it in 9 seconds. Never, ever. It's never going to happen. But there's somebody who's out there who's preparing themselves to do so, and they're willing to put themselves in a situation where they feel uncomfortable in order to do so. So coming back to this guy, the reason why he never made a move was the fact that he found himself in fear and really not really capable of looking past this fear and then operating outside of his comfort zone, which is, I'm saying this so that it can pre-frame you, so I can see you, walk you through. Now, I'm not walk you through this, so that I'm not saying that if he had joined the program, he would have stopped her from wanting a divorce. That's not what I'm saying. But suddenly he would have been able to deal with the situation differently, and which is what I'm coaching him through now. And again, I'm coaching him through this for free. So again, I'm not trying to say this so that I'm forcing you guys to pay money. Like I said, a lot of you guys, I'm willing to give you your first result for free. Like, I'm willing to do that so that you can see that it actually works. And some of you guys have been burnt before where other coaches tell you all these other things. So I'm willing to give you something for free so that you can see how I coach. Also, more importantly, you see that there's actually a light at the end of the tunnel. So anyways, so this guy, he was talking about this, and I said, so what? Tell me what's happened, and maybe tell me more about your relationship. And he said, since the last time we spoke, he's made himself more available to the house. He's been more collaborative. He's tried to do more around the house. He's doing more with the kids. He's doing more of the cooking. And he said, by all accounts, there is some challenges here and there, but there's less arguments, there's so on. So he's sort of gone down the route of really trying to happy wife, happy life type thing. And obviously now she finds herself in this place where she still wants to leave. Now, then I said, so can you tell me exactly what she said in order to come to this conclusion? And she said, well, I want a divorce because I feel unhappy in this relationship and I need to go out and find myself. Now, there's one guy who's a YouTuber, I forgot his name. I found him recently. And he said an important point that men will suffer to keep the family together. But when women are unhappy, they'll be willing to destroy the family. And I thought that was powerful. Now, I'm paraphrasing. He said it in a much more eloquent way, but absolutely spot on, that there's this selfish way of looking at happiness in life that has been infiltrated our society and made women delusional in terms of the expectations of a marriage and what happiness looks like. And so there's a lot of reframing that needs to be done. So that's just a different point on its own. So I said, so in this case, she had said that she is unhappy and therefore she needs to find herself. And I thought this was quite telling, and I needed to point this out to him, that generally when she says she needs to go and find herself, it means that she's never really identified what happiness looks like. So and what I mean by that is that if you don't know yourself, or you feel like you haven't found yourself 5 years into a marriage or 2 years into a marriage, or if you feel like you haven't found yourself in that scenario, it means that you haven't actually defined what happiness should look like. You don't understand. So if you feel like you need to find yourself out somewhere else, it means that this was already a losing game. It was rigged against you. So there's nothing that you could have potentially done to change this, because again, if you take the responsibility of making her happy, you most likely will do everything that you can. But if she doesn't recognize what happiness looks like, or she hasn't defined what happiness looks like, she's most likely going to go into a place where she won't recognize everything that you're doing in order to deliver happiness. So it was a losing game. So he said, so what do you think I should do about this? And I said, let the fucking bitch go. And I put it as bluntly as that. I said, you are being given an absolute gift here. She is willing to wreck the family and do what she needs to do to go and find happiness. 9 times out of 10, when she goes out there, because she doesn't know how to recognize happiness, she doesn't know how to make herself feel happy. And again, she's, by her own words, I need to go and find myself. If she's got to this age and still not know what herself is, she's most likely going to go out there and be 10 times more miserable. So this is a person that you don't want in your life. This person is holding you back from actually somebody who's going to take you as a priority, somebody who's going to love you for who you are and actually not request for you to change. In fact, somebody who's going to be willing to grow with you rather than trying to change you into something that you're not. So, and I think I wanted to put that out there for you guys, just in case you've already had the divorce word, or she's going through this process where she's telling you that she's unhappy and she's putting it on you in order for you to figure out what happiness looks like for her. And if you try and define it, she's going to minimize it. She's going to be dismissive over it. If you try and deliver it, she's not going to recognize it because, again, she doesn't know herself. So all of that, it makes it a rigged game that it doesn't matter what you do. You most likely destined for failure, because again, without all these in place, especially when it comes to changing a sexless relationship, these are one of the indicators of you not to continue pushing. Actually, you start figuring out what does life look like, us working separately, and that becomes your position. That, you know what, I'm looking for data points that show me that you're now working towards figuring yourself out within the relationship, and you are now redefining what happiness looks like for yourself. So you have set targets. So just to end this off, it's what I mean by them not knowing themselves. I always use this analogy of, if you were going to go on holiday and you arrived at the airport, but you didn't have a destination, you're not going to leave that fucking airport. Just like that. So if the fact that she's got no real identifier of what happiness looks like, or at least a quantifiable metric of what happiness should be, or what would justify to be happiness, that in itself tells me that nothing will ever make her happy. So again, when I spoke about this, it's really reframed him on how to look this. I just wanted him to feel more empowered around the fact that it's not his fault in this case. She's just going to be miserable. She is somebody who is going to hold him back. And again, this is a wasted life when you are trying your best to work to hold this person, hold them into your life. Sometimes people are in your life to just give you kids. Fact, whether it's a woman or man, they're just there to give you your kids. After beyond that, they're overstaying their welcome, basically. So yeah, she needs to get the fuck out, and you need to start figuring your life out, because again, you don't need that sort of person. Again, you it's hard to be collaborative with somebody who doesn't understand what. In fact, somebody said this to me the other day, and I thought that was extremely powerful. Is that, can you imagine going to war with a wounded soldier? Like, how can you depend on that guy? So, and this person is wounded, and how are you going to face challenges in life when this person is only going to try and bring you down because they don't understand their purpose within their life and within their marriage? So, thank you very much, guys. Hopefully, you have a very good weekend. I'll be seeing you guys soon. Take care.